So, this is my friend's Citi Golf, and it has a few weird issues. Um, I just thought I'd make this video to share with you guys the type of problems it has, and maybe you guys are going through something like this also, Joker. So, let me show you what it's doing. Let me show you how I go about solving it, and yeah, let's get started. The first problem is the hazards. This thing is just like on continuously, no matter what you do here, unless you pull out the fuse. So when you put the ignition on, does the same thing. The nothing works. That is the second issue, which is the oil light. Sometimes the dash lights work, sometimes the lights don't work. The fuel gauge also does its own story. When you start the car, the rev counter doesn't work. Okay, the speedo does work. It's just showing that because the car is lifted. And the fuel gauge, I don't know if you noticed, the fuel gauge went full, back down. Yeah, so this thing just does a lot of weird stuff. Now when you put this on, the cluster doesn't light up. So this is a bit of a weird issue. Checking online and asking a few guys, a lot of the people say that these clusters on the new spec clusters is controlled by the control box, which is this box right here that's located underneath the dash. So I'm not sure if you can get these boxes repaired or not, but yeah, so I do have a replacement box. I got another box here. I'm gonna just swap it out and hopefully that works. Okay, so let's see if that fixed our problem. The hazards aren't coming on, which is good. Ignition on. Hazards is working how it should. Indicators are working. Just the fuel gauge is still full. I have no idea what that is about. If any of you guys know, please let me know. Okay, the rev counter is working. The second problem. This oil light has been coming on. Usually when it's idling or when you switch off and start the car, the oil light goes off. But as soon as you rev the car past 2000 RPM, the oil light comes back on. So when you switch off, put the ignition on. Give it a moment and the oil light will come on. And then when you start the car, the oil light goes off, usually. Right, like that. And then once you rev the car past 2000 RPM, most of the time the light comes back on. Like that. Yeah, so that's the weird problems I'm having with this car. I don't think it is oil pressure because I rebuilt this motor some time ago when we done the conversion from 1.4 to a 2 liter. and we put a new oil pump on this car, so I highly doubt it is oil pressure, but I think it is good practice just to check and double check and make sure that there is oil pressure before we start looking further into the problem. So let's test the oil pressure, see that everything's fine, and if everything's fine, then we can look a bit further. Okay, so to test the oil pressure, I'm gonna be using this oil pressure gauge. It's just a universal one. Here is the oil pressure switch. This is on top of the oil filter housing. Just excuse what's happening there. I was just testing some stuff before off camera. So, okay, so this is the oil pressure switch that's on this car. Okay, so this is quite strong oil pressure. This is quite a relief that the motor does have oil pressure. So on cold start, with the oil being cold and stuff, the 5.5, 6 bars is quite strong. So I'm not worried that it is a oil pressure problem, and most likely a wiring or sensor problem. If you are doing this on your car, I would recommend you doing the oil pressure test just to make sure that you do have oil pressure. This blue wire with the black stripe runs from here till the cluster. It doesn't go into that control box, so that's why even though we replaced the control box, the problem was still there. And I've tried quite a few sensors now, and I've learned that there is different sensors, and different colors mean different pressure ranges that they sense, and they sort of work similar to relays, because some of them will be normally open. That means that when there's no reading, there's no signal coming out from the pin, and you get normally closed one means obviously the opposite of that. So I've tried the brown switch and I've tried the black switch, and I've seen on the black switch this is for 0.3 bar. This one here doesn't say what pressure sense it reads from. So I got another switch. This one is it's a high pressure switch, and you can see somewhere here 1.6 bar. Also worth noting that you also get a white switch. The white switch is currently on my Citi Golf, and I have swapped it into here and it hasn't worked. And I'm not too sure what's the difference now between the white switch like this and the switch that I'm fitting now. But we'll see now if this one does work. Let's give it a few seconds and see if the oil light comes on. So far, nothing. I think the fuel gauge is just staying full because the car is jacked up. So far, so good. No oil light when the ignition is left on, and no oil light coming after 2000 RPM. If you guys are having a problem like that with your oil light, this seems like it's worked for me. I've tried all the other switches. I've actually tried these 3 switches, and yeah, none of them worked, and they were all giving me the same problem. Weirdly, the white switch that's on my Citi Golf, when I put it in here, it done the complete opposite thing. As soon as you started the car, the oil light came on and it never went back off. And we are running the same cluster, so I'm not sure what the difference is or why it worked on my car and not on this car. At least that oil light has been sorted and the cluster has been sorted out. But if I'm anything like you guys watching this video, then we can't leave anything stock. So, well, it's not stock already. It's got a 2-liter motor in it, but we can't leave the stock 2-liter motor stock. So we're going to be fitting a STK camshaft into this car. It's a 276, and hopefully it makes a bit of an improvement. This is the camshaft that we got, and some of the parts we're going to be replacing: the chopper cover, gasket, the camshaft seal, and we're going to put a new set of lifters as well. So I would say always follow your manufacturers or the manufacturer's instructions. On their website also, they do recommend you replace your lifters, so that's why we are putting a new set of lifters. New parts always make me so excited. This looks so lekker. Okay, enough playing around. Let's get this camshaft fitted. And I'm so excited to give him his car now. This is gonna be lekker. Okay, so I'm not an expert when it comes to these things, but especially chems and stuff. So let's try and see what the biggest difference is. So we're going to be checking this journal here, which is the intake journal. This is the lift of the journal. Well, the lift of the lobe. So that one, so the standard cam, and measuring the same lobe on the new camshaft, we can see that it is slightly bigger. So yeah, so that you can see it's slightly bigger. This doesn't quite fit over here. So it's more or less going to open the valves a little bit more. And if you look at the shape of this lobe, you can see it's a lot more rounded than compared to the factory one. I don't know if you can see that, but what that means is, or you can see it here, the top one is a lot sharper or pointier than the aftermarket one. So that just means the duration is going to be longer on these cams. It's going to take longer for that camshaft to ride on the valve, so it's going to be keeping the valves open for much longer. While I'm fitting the new cam into the Citi Golf, I would really appreciate it if you could please like, subscribe, and click that bell icon. It really does help the channel grow. Okay, so that's it for this video. And yeah, the oil light hasn't come back on, so that's been fixed. The cluster is working, just the fuel gauge is still a bit iffy. I'm not too sure what's going on with that, so if you guys know, please let me know what I can do to try and fix that. The camshaft made a ridiculous difference. This thing sounds so awesome, and it is moving very nice. This car got so much of power. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you want to see his reaction, let me know in the comments. Make a short for his reaction. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching again. I'll see you guys in the next video.